Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Newcastle respond to audacious Darwin Nunez and Alexander Isak swap transfer. Darwin Nunez has dropped down the pecking order at Liverpool, and the club could yet find themselves changing things up in attack during the summer transfer window. Newcastle United have quickly dismissed a player plus cash deal involving Alexander Isak and Darwin Nunez, it has been claimed. Uruguay striker Nunez has struggled to assert himself since making a big money move to Liverpool in 2022 and was linked with a January exit. That didn't materialize, but he could still be on the move come the summer. Swedish international striker Isak could also be playing elsewhere next term, but for different reasons. He has top-scored for the Magpies this season with 19 Premier League goals. Only Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland have more for any club, with a number of clubs linked with a summer swoop. Arsenal have long been fans of Isak, but Liverpool appear to have attempted to steal a march on their rivals. They may have to try harder if they're to get a deal over the line, though. According to Chronicle Live, Liverpool's approach has been rejected out of hand by Newcastle. The outlet doesn't specify exactly how much money was being offered in addition to Nunez, but Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has consistently argued he has no plans to let Isak leave St. James's Park. Alex has got a long contract anyway, and we have to be really careful regarding our spending due to PSR, Howe said in October. We love him and are desperate for him to stay at Newcastle for many years and score loads and loads of goals for us, but I don't see a short-term issue with his contract. He continued, Absolutely, there will be ongoing talks, but Alex can only help his situation by playing well. He is an outstanding talent. Really good with the ball, really intelligent, and a deadly goal scorer when he is at his absolute best. When Howe made those comments, Isak had scored just once in 6 Premier League outings. He has been prolific since, though, with a highlight coming around the turn of the year when he scored in 8 straight Premier League outings. The 25-year-old also scored in Carabao Cup victories over Chelsea and Arsenal to help Newcastle reach the final. He will hope to be fit for the meeting with Liverpool on March 16th, having been taken off during Sunday's FA Cup defeat against Brighton. Newcastle lost in extra time against Fabian Hürzeler's Seagulls, with winger Anthony Gordon shown a straight red card following a clash with Jan-Paul van Hecke. The England international is set to face a 3-match ban, which would keep him out of the Carabao Cup final. But the club are planning an appeal. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ's transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Liverpool FC transfer news. Our deconned news is Liverpool news. Alan Shearer makes Mo Salah contract prediction amid disciplinary concern. Liverpool have just a few days before they travel to Paris to face PSG in a huge Champions League clash. But Arne Slot has a few concerns to contend with ahead of the game. Liverpool are ramping up plans for a huge Champions League last 16 clash against Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday night. The Reds have benefited from a small break after not being involved in the FA Cup this weekend, following their shock exit at the hands of Plymouth in the last round. Arne Slot will be happy to get an extended rest ahead of a massive game in Paris, where his players will be up against a dangerous PSG side under Luis Enrique. As Liverpool build up to the Champions League clash, Mirror Football has broken down all the biggest news around Anfield. While Mohamed Salah continues to enjoy arguably the best season of his storied career, he is no closer to agreeing a new deal with Liverpool. with the player set to become a free agent this summer as things stand. The Egyptian has been a sensation this term and looks likely to guide the Reds to the Premier League title after helping the team go 13 points clear of Arsenal, and some might be surprised that Liverpool aren't desperate to lock him down. But after watching him plunder 30 goals for Liverpool this season and provide 22 assists, Match of the Day pundit Alan Shearer admitted he would be stunned if Liverpool didn't do everything in their power to keep him at Anfield. "I think, without a doubt, that this is the best version of Mo Salah we've seen," Shearer says, speaking to Betfair. "I said earlier in the season that we should see what happens in terms of a 1% drop in his levels due to his contract situation. But that hasn't happened. On the contrary, he seems to be getting even better and stronger as the season goes on." There's still no word on his contract situation, but I'd be amazed if Liverpool don't sort something out to keep him at least for another year or two. Losing Mo Salah would be huge for Liverpool and the Premier League because he's an iconic player. Everything he's doing right now seems to result in either a goal or an assist. Even against Newcastle on Wednesday night, Lewis Hall gave him a really good battle, but some of his bits of quality were just superb. He is an icon of the Premier League, no doubt about it. Reds face disciplinary concern against PSG. Slot will be wary that a number of his players are walking a tightrope ahead of the game at the Parc des Princes. Going into the match, Ibrahima Konate, Andy Robertson, and Harvey Elliott are all one yellow card away from a one-game suspension after being cautioned twice. Meanwhile, Alexis Mac Allister is also one card away from being banned, having already served a one-match ban earlier in the season. He is currently on 4 yellow cards in the competition. Slot might be tempted to tinker with his 11 as a result to make sure not all of his affected 4 players are in the firing line, in case he ends up losing all of them. The Dutchman also has another possible conundrum with 4 players set to miss the match against PSG. Joe Gomez and Tyler Morton are long-term absentees after undergoing surgery for hamstring and shoulder problems respectively, while Connor Bradley is out. Young defender Amara Nallo will be suspended too, so Slot will be hopeful the 4 at risk of suspension do not add to his problems. Diaz drops hint on future Liverpool forward. Luis Diaz has become a fan favorite since moving to Anfield from FC Porto in 2022. He's netted 25 times in the Premier League across the last 4 seasons, and he has effectively confirmed he wants to stay at Liverpool for the foreseeable future, after revealing he wants to be the highest-scoring Colombian in the English top flight. Diaz is currently behind former Wigan man Hugo Rodallega, 29, Hamilton Ricard, 31, and Juan Pablo Angel, 44. So he still has some way to go before collecting that landmark. Now and again, I find out about the stats when people post them on social media. But how nice it is to be getting close to such great fellow Colombian players like Hugo and all the others, said Diaz via the official Liverpool website. It's a real pleasure for me to be right there close behind them, and I realize that maybe I will catch them at some point. You could say that it's another one of those personal targets that I have. I know that things are going well for me, and I'm in decent form. What I want the most is to keep making history, and, first and foremost, that Colombians who come over to England to play really leave their mark. That's key for us all now, to give a positive image of our country, just like they all did. Now, those of us here are trying to do just that. I'm very happy with that, and we hope to continue doing the same things in future. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ. Subscribe for more updates. Our last news is Liverpool could be missing 8 players for PSG Champions League tie after disciplinary action. Liverpool are currently without 4 players through injury, while a further 4 players are at risk of being suspended for the second leg of their Champions League round of 16 tie against Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool are set to be without 4 players for their Champions League clash with Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday night, while disciplinary issues could also cost the Reds the services of another 4 players during the tie. Long-term absentees Joe Gomez and Tyler Morton, who have both undergone surgery for hamstring and shoulder injuries respectively, will be joined on the sidelines by Connor Bradley, who suffered a hamstring injury against Aston Villa last month. The Reds will also be without young defender Amara Nalo due to suspension following his red card on his debut against PSV Eindhoven in January, although the teenager was unlikely to feature in Paris. The Reds are also facing a mounting disciplinary issue, with Ibrahima Konate, Andy Robertson, and Harvey Elliott all 1 yellow card away from a 1-game suspension in the Champions League, having been cautioned twice in the competition, meaning they would miss the Anfield second leg if they were booked in Paris. In addition, Alexis Mac Allister, who has already served a 1-game ban in the league phase, is at risk of another suspension. The Argentina international has been shown the yellow card 4 times in this season's competition. Players receive a 1-game suspension after accumulating 3 yellow cards that did not result in a red card, as well as after any subsequent odd-numbered caution. With yellow cards not expiring until the quarterfinals are over, these players have 4 games to navigate without getting banned, as per the Liverpool Echo. Meanwhile, Virgil van Dijk, Ryan Gravenberch, Luis Diaz, Kostas Tsimikas, and Darwin Nunez have all received 1 booking in the Champions League this season, so would face a ban if they get 2 more bookings before the quarter-finals end. Despite several Liverpool players being on thin ice discipline-wise, the Reds will be pleased to have both Arne Slot and assistant head coach Sipke Hulshoff back in the dugout in Paris. Both are currently serving a 2-game touchline ban in the Premier League for their behavior towards officials after Liverpool's contentious 2-2 draw with Everton last month, but are allowed to return to the sidelines for Champions League matches. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.